So my name's Brennan Pollard and I'm from Casting Cowboys Fishing. We're anglers based in central Queensland, mainly calling Mackay home. And this is my new Tabs Wild Fisher 5500. Yeah, so about probably 12 months ago I started looking around, wanting to upgrade my current boat that I had, and I just wanted something set up around. We mainly chase barramundi in the impoundments, but also I do a lot of remote trips. We head up to places like King Ash Bay in the Northern Territory, places like Corumba, and I really wanted a boat that we could do overnight trips, me and a couple of lads or me and the family, and spend a couple of nights in the boat. So designing this boat really meant it had to have all areas covered and have enough storage for at least 1 to 2 days away on the water and be self-sustainable. I went with a Tabs boat mainly because the Wild Fisher, the 5500, had everything I needed. So this boat's got plenty of speed, capable of doing 100 kilometres an hour when we're in those rivers, when we've got long distances to travel, like places like the Fitzroy, but also with the jack and plate, we can get into those shallow spots and get up on the plane nice and quick. Or when conditions aren't so favourable, I'm still able to get out and head out fishing, head around the headlands and stuff like this. With a 5mm bottom, this boat can handle most conditions that's thrown at it. Fishing started out a hobby for me about 15 years ago, fishing with some friends from work. So I grew up out in central Queensland on cattle property, so fishing was something new to me. Took it on as a hobby and really enjoyed it. And as the years progressed, so did my passion for fishing. So this is my fourth boat I've owned now, and each time I've started out with a 3.2 metre punt, and every time we've gone bigger and better. And I feel this new Wild Fisher 5500 covers absolutely everything I ever dreamed of in a boat and has everything I ever need. After owning 4 boats, I've seen the good and the bad over many years and many conditions, and the good and bad in boat designs and hulls, but also products. So building this boat, that's why I went with a custom. I really wanted to get everything and make it built to last. So reaching out to the team, Helen and Wayne down at Tabs on the Gold Coast, really come to the party and were more than happy to address everything that I had and all the requests I had. So with this boat, we've really decked it out and gone with everything to make sure it's really going to last the test of time. So there's plenty of boats on the market. There's hundreds and hundreds to choose from, especially in the barra industry at the moment if you're looking around. But what sets this boat apart, I believe, from the other boats getting around, is just everything's built to last. We've got 5mm bottoms, 4mm sides, and we've got everything welded. So I've gone with no plastic in the boat, or as minimal as possible, and welded absolutely everything in. So you look at your rod holders, your cup holders, they've all been welded into the hull. All the lockers have all been welded, and everything's built that over time, nothing's going to break. We've gone with twin console on this build, and purely the twin console, I have my partner or my good friends out fishing with me, it's purely to protect them in those conditions. When you've got a boat capable of doing close to 100 kilometres an hour, that's a fair bit of wind in your face. So having that twin console just breaks up those conditions and gives that co-angler just that little bit better ride when we're out on the water. When it comes to electronics with this build, there was quite a lot of hours and quite a few beers went into this planning of this part, as any electronics in a boat with salt water mainly, they have to last. So it was a no-brainer for me. I've been with Lowrance for quite some years now, but I started fishing 15 years ago and I've only ever really fished with Lowrance and absolutely love them. So building this boat meant everything that was getting decked out in it was going to be a Lowrance product. And we've got a couple of sounders on the boat, so we've fitted a HDS 9 live. Now that's on the console and that purely just runs our motor. So we've got that integrated with the Mercury 175 down the back, and it's giving me my fuel consumption and my hours. It's mainly the house though. We've got the sonic hub running through that, so it becomes a stereo for the boat as well, or the sound system. We've got a HDS Live 16 on the console as well, linked to the 9. Now that's mainly just used for finding those barra. I like the bigger screen, especially when I'm using side and down scan in the impoundments or in the estuaries. And then when we come up to the front of the boat also, I've got a HDS 12 on the nose. Now that one up the nose, we spend a fair bit of time exploring country and we wanted a sounder up there so we didn't have to keep looking back. We've run the 12 on the nose, we've run that with the Lowrance Active Target, so we've just been trialling that over the last few weeks and absolutely loving what that brings to the party for us. Yeah, so Mercury was an easy choice for me. I've had quite a few motors over the years, and Mercury's been one that I've stuck with for probably close to 7 years now. I've been running Mercuries on my boats, and when I was looking around, I wanted something with performance but also lightweight for these barrow boats, so we didn't have a lot of weight on the arse end and get better fuel consumption. So the Pro XS range was a no-brainer, and I went with the 175. Just seemed to match up with this size hull perfect, and the fuel economy we're getting out of this boat with the speed, it's pretty hard to match. So we've been running the boat for a couple of weeks now. It's just due for its first service this week, and we've been giving it quite a run, and we've sort of found the motor and the boat seem to cruise along at around 4,000 RPM. We're sitting on that 60 to 70 kilometres an hour, which is a good comfortable speed with a fuel burn of around 16 to 17 litres an hour. So this boat holds 160 litres under the floor, so with that amount of fuel on board, with the Mercury down the back, we've got plenty of fuel to cover a lot of country. Yeah, with so many electronics, I wanted mounts that were universal but also easy to use, and especially with the conditions around the salt water, everyone knows that stuff doesn't last long, so I wanted stuff that would last me a couple of years and I wasn't paying for it again in a year or two. So I looked around a lot of mounts, and it's hard to get with COVID obviously in Australia at the moment, but RAM mounts were available, and I've run all my sounders, my active target poles, and even my mobile phone holders in the boat. I've stuck with the RAM mounts, and they've got a mount that just about covers absolutely everything you could want. Storage is a huge thing. Over the years, we accumulate stuff, and I've got plenty of gear, and heading out on those remote trips, we got swags, we got eskies. So building this boat, I needed to have everything under the floor out the road, so during the day we could fish and film and have no issues at all. So this boat has absolutely ample amount of storage. I've got all my gear in the boat at the moment, and I haven't even filled half the lockers. So they come standard with a 7-foot rod locker. I think we've got close to 12 rods in there at the moment, and it's not even full, so plenty of storage for your rods. The main centre locker which we designed it around a Waco or an 80-litre fridge. We wanted to run a fridge underneath the floor so that we could have our lunch and our drinks nice and cold, especially if I'm out on the water with the family for the day. So in the middle compartment, we're running an 80-litre fridge, which is plenty enough room. And then when we step up to the nose of the boat, we've got 2 lockers either side, which is plenty of storage for your nets, your tackle bags, and all your bits and pieces. So we've got plenty of room in there. I fit 2 single swags under there as well. When it comes to the back of the boat, there's quite a bit of room down there as well. We've got a main locker down there, which is quite a big hatch, and we can fit all our cameras and gear that were drones, stuff that were going away. So that's more of a dry locker where we just store all our electronics, and then moving back from that, we got the 2 battery compartments. So I've housed all the batteries on the transom just for the weight, and they're right down the back. So we've got plenty of storage, and we've got under seat storage, and then also storage underneath the consoles with 12-volt cigarette and USB plugs under there for all your electronics. So when it comes to storage, this boat accommodates absolutely everything. A couple of photos have leaked. We've leaked a couple of photos out to let people know, or people to see what we've got, and the seats have been a real eye turner. So these seats we run was something I wanted a bit of back support at this speed or when conditions get rough, and we went with the Relax and Makos. They're a great all-round seat, but they just hold you. They're so comfortable, and they're one of the best seats I've found on the market for these style boats. Yeah, so this boat, well, like any boat build or any house build, it can be quite a stressful time, but I can't thank Hal and Wayne and the team down at Tabs enough. The amount of phone calls, the amount of last minute changes or requests or ideas that I'd pitch to them, they were more than happy to accommodate me and made sure that absolutely everything I asked for has been delivered on this boat, and it's to a high level, so thanks to the team.